They'd give up their right to vote for a more conservative America.
Nice to meet you.
Are you planning on voting in the midterms?
The people that voted for Trump are just very fed up. Both my husband and I are really disappointed.
What is the number one motivating factor for you when you decide, who you're going to vote for?
I don't want a party that's going to tell my son he can cut off his penis.
But your plan is to vote Republican?
Yes.
The Republican Party is the party of freedom.
These are some of the voters that Donald Trump and his Republican Party desperately need in order to hold onto power. Conservative, mostly Christian women at a leadership summit hosted by Turning Point USA. The right-wing advocacy group led by Erica Kirk after the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk.
Love you guys.
Turning Point is influential with young voters. President Donald Trump has credited the organization with helping him get reelected and bringing more young voters into the conservative movement.
It's such a great place to be in here in America, is being young, being a female, being conservative. They all just play hand in hand together.
But fractures in this movement are emerging. A main stage headliner is no longer backing Trump or Republicans, saying she won't vote in the midterms.
He made it seem like everything was going to become more affordable. Now the economy's worse. He promised no more wars in the Middle East, and we are in a war. So it's disappointing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Savannah Stone is a 21-year-old trad wife influencer with 800,000 followers on.
It's very funny that this is just fetish content, and a lot of these people don't realize it's just fetish content. The trad wife shit is just straight up fetish content. But fetish content has now turned into like a political movement from their perspective. It's very odd. It's not different than OnlyFans. Explain that more? No, it literally is. It's a performance. I've been on this since 2023. Yeah. I don't know why people can't comprehend that this is quite literally serving a fetish. More power to her. And there's obviously nothing wrong with choosing to live like this as well. But it's always funny to see people post this setting as a political mode of existence when it's simply marketing. She is a beard.
You get dressed up to go to brunch. You get dressed up to go to church. Why don't you do it when your husband comes home from work?
Oh my God. That's a gay man. Oh, that's a gay man. He got gay face. No disrespect. I mean, he's serving. That's Austin. That's a gay body fat percentage. True, that too. He's got a gay body too. I mean, good for them. They make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Social media. She is a rising star in Christian
gay and Lebanese
conservative circles, even though she embraces
Austin, Texas show.
highly controversial fringe positions.
I'm going to start this off really strong. I don't think women should vote anyways. If somebody asked me, if the government was like, okay, if we could have a more conservative country, if all women gave up their vote, I would gladly give up my right to vote to have a more conservative country.
There's a lot of churches that talk about it.
Stone argues that women voters are too liberal, so the U.S. should shift to a one vote per household system.
Now, is that a hill I'm going to die on and run for office and try to complete? No.
Well, obviously, because you shouldn't run for office if your entire worldview is that women should stay in the fucking kitchen, dumbass. The f*** do you mean? Women shouldn't be able to vote, but they should run for office? That makes no sense. What's next? You want to be the girl boss conservative queen? Like, how is that? None of this makes sense. Why are you on camera? You should be barefoot, pregnant, in the kitchen, churning butter. I will never understand this concept. Like, what is this? Why are you frolicking about like a harlot instead of serving your homosexual husband? What the hell? 700,000 likes
Highest
from her?
divorce rates, 2 women. Lowest divorce rates, 2 men. Highest rates of domestic violence, 2 women.
What?
Lowest rates of domestic violence, 2 men. 70.
Wait, highest rates of domestic violence is 2 women? I don't believe that. Where is this information coming from? Lesbians are beating the shit out of each other? Is that what it is? That is so out of context. That is actually true. Wait, really? They're weaponizing the lesbian data roller derby? I know the study she's referencing, she got the data wrong. I'm a numbers guy. I don't believe this number. Okay, listen. I'm a numbers guy. I feel like there's probably something wrong with this number. It doesn't make a lot of sense, and let me tell you why. Because when you look at crime statistics, as a numbers guy, I always look at the crime statistic when I'm making arguments. And women are underrepresented in the crime data as opposed to men. Men are like around 90% of the crime as opposed to the women's. Now, of course, I chat GPT it, I grok it. You probably saw the link, but just in case, keep it factually independent. Whether you agree or disagree with the analysis below, do lesbians have higher domestic abuse violence rates than others? Data from the U.S. survey show lesbian women report higher lifetime rates of intimate partner violence than heterosexual women in several large studies. Lesbian women ever experience rape. Oh, wait. This doesn't mean in a lesbian relationship, right? Am I crazy? This report doesn't even mean inside of a lesbian relationship. This means, oh my God. That took me 0.5 seconds to understand. It says lifetime rates of intimate partner violence. A lot of lesbian women are, I don't know what percentage of the lesbian women are actually experiencing intimate partner violence from their female partners during their lifetime. This could also still, what are you saying? As in, plenty of lesbian women initially in a heteronormative society. 2 reasons. 1, queer couples and queer people in general have a higher likelihood of experiencing violence, domestic violence, or violence in general, and also have a higher likelihood of reporting it. That's number 1. Number 2, because we live in a heteronormative society, they have a higher likelihood of experiencing violence when they are in a straight relationship in the hands of heterosexual men for the most part, before they end up getting in a relationship with another woman. This data doesn't mean that like lesbians are beating the doors off of one another. It just simply means that lesbians at some point in their lives have experienced domestic violence at a higher rate than straight women have, partially because of, I guess, less of a tendency to report it, but also, there could be some kind of intimate partner violence that they received in a heterosexual relationship in their past. It took me 0.5 seconds to figure that out, by the way, but who knows? For example, CDC's NISVS related summaries report 43 to 44% of lesbian women ever experience rape, physical violence, or stalking versus 35% of straight women. But authoritative research caution the differences for lesbians versus straight women are often not statistically significant, and measurement problems, sampling, underreporting, differing definitions complicate direct comparisons. Multiple reviews warn that same-sex IPV research suffers from non-random sampling, small convenience samples, and self-selection that can bias prevalence estimates. Therefore, many studies cannot reliably establish that lesbian IPV rates are higher than heterosexual rates. The Williams Institute notes that although reported lifetime prevalence among lesbians is often higher, the difference with the heterosexual women is not always statistically significant, while bisexual women show a robustly higher risk. IPV definitions vary. Some survey count emotional verbal abuse, stalking, and reproductive coercion as an IPV in addition to physical or sexual violence. When broader definitions are used, prevalence numbers rise. Many sources highlight that psychological aggression is particularly common in same-sex relationships. Differences in wording, timeframes, lifetime versus past year, and whether male perpetrators are included for women who identify as lesbian further affect comparisons. Yeah, see? Told you. Anyway.
5 to 80% of divorces filed by women. Top reasons: boredom, unhappiness, no longer compatible. Highest rates for maltreatment of children by women. Women consume social media at a far higher rate than men. Women are also 3 times more likely to deal with mental health issues than men. When you share these statistics, you are automatically labeled a misogynist pick-me who hates women. But fortunately, I care more about...
You're using cherry-picked data points to drive home an insane position that, like, what, women are evil? Women are rapists and abusive, and also it was weirdly pro-gay marriage. I don't know how that happened. I guess she was like, I hate women so much as a woman that, like, I wanted to, forget how trad I am for a second and maybe hype up gay marriage. I guess having a gay husband does that for her. She's showing support for her gay husband. It's a double bind. On the one hand, she's showing support for her gay husband, but then also on the other hand, she has locked her gay husband into a relationship with a woman. Yuck. Gross. Women are obviously evil. So don't know how to feel about this one.
About truth than being accepted by the sisterhood. I'm also not a girl's girl. I'm a woman's woman, which means taking radical responsibility and accountability for my own gender. And the truth is, we have a lot of work to do. What has happened instead is not only my generation, but the generations of women before us just constantly blame and deflect everything on men. You'll hear them say, well, if the men were good, if the men were better, if the men were more masculine, then we would be better women. And that's an extremely entitled take to say that your virtue only relies on men in society. With that attitude, you will actually never attract the men.
Okay, boring.
That's not my main message. That's just one of the opinions that I hold because I think that would be better for society.
I actually do agree with her. I would as well give up my vote if it got rid of like things like abortion.
We spoke with several women open to.
I just don't get it. Like, what's their goal? To die during an ectopic pregnancy? Is that what it is? Like, that's beast mode for you? Like, like, who cares? Just don't get an abortion, dumbass. Like, why are you stopping other people from getting this medical procedure that is like unbelievably not invasive at all, especially in the first trimester? It's just a pill, and then you just heavy bleeding, and it's done. You know what I mean? Because it's not of life. It's not like a real human being yet, you know? I find it so strange. You don't get it, Sonic? It never happened to them? No, but like even then, it's just like, why? What is this tendency these dumbasses have where it's like, no, it's not enough that I don't want to get an abortion. I want to make sure other people also can't get it. It's like, okay, just don't get an abortion. There's plenty of shit people do that I don't like. You don't see me running around being like, make it illegal now, right? I don't like Lime scooters. I think they're annoying. I'm not running around making it my whole life to be like, nope, we have to abolish Lime scooters because they're annoying. They crowd up the goddamn sidewalks. They are great. You are a hater. See, there's motherfuckers out here who will always have some different opinions. It's like, I have to love Lime scooters now.
Giving up their own rights in pursuit of a more Christian conservative America.
My perspective as a Christian.
Dude, what's crazy about this is like she got gauges on. She got that weird inner ear earring. And then she's wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt. And it's like, how did this happen? You're supposed to be experimenting with your bisexuality at this point. You're supposed to have a septum ring. Like, where did this, how, what? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. These people are supposed to be woke. They look woke. Why are you not experimenting with bisexuality? You look like you should be doing that right now. You look woke.
Woman is that my husband and I are one flesh. I vote the same way he does, so honestly, I would be okay with giving up my right to vote because I know that he would represent me well.
If my husband's the head of the household, I am the neck, and we work very cohesively together, so I would imagine.
Again, and I can't stress this enough, you don't have to vote. As a matter of fact, it's probably better if you don't vote. Why? Why are you like, I don't want to vote, and I don't think any woman should vote? Well, in that world, I, as a man, am telling you, I don't care about your opinion. What do we do now? What do we do now? Now I'm deploying misogyny tactically in this circumstance, just for this moment alone, at the behest of feminism. All right, you're a woman. You think you ain't shit. I'm a man, and I'm telling you, your opinion is worthless. What do we do now? As a man, I'm saying women should be able to have autonomy in their bodies and also be able to vote. Where do we go now? Did I cancel you out? Did I cancel all of these trad women out? Is that how this works? How many women am I able to cancel out as a man? They dress alternative but don't understand what they're supposed to be alternative to. So annoying. Scientifically speaking, all of them. Good. Okay, I canceled them all. Now they all have a voice and we can hear them, but we're not going to listen. Okay?
And if he was voting on behalf of our household, I would be fine with that.
Do you think your daughter should have the right to vote?
I'd be okay if she didn't, because I also know she's going to marry a biblical man, that they would also be in line.
But the vast majority of women here say this remains a conversation for the fringe.
I think the best thing that we can do is hold conferences like this to educate liberal women and hopefully sway them to the conservative side.
I think women should.
Yeah. Now, you should really go up to random women and be like, hey, ladies, what do you think about us not having autonomy? What do you think about the government just stopping us from having random medical procedures that are life-saving in many instances? How do we feel about that, ladies? What the is happening?
Be voting?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give up my right to vote ever.
And most women...
Like, unless you are literally a white cisgender man who happens to be at least a millionaire, if not a billionaire, none of this shit is good for you. It's always chickens for KFC for all these motherfuckers. bro. Every single time. It's not like the Democratic Party is like, you know, all flowers on the other side here. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. But it's certainly better than being like, oh yeah, women shouldn't be allowed to vote and then they should die if they have an ectopic pregnancy. Like, it makes no sense. It's always a race to the bottom.
We spoke with plan to exercise their right to vote in the midterm elections. Most plan to support Republican candidates. Most are united by their socially conservative views.
You know, it's all about the love.
It's the transgender agenda. It's the, I don't feel like schools need to be teaching. Go back to reading, writing, arithmetic.
What is the number one motivating factor for you when you decide, who you're going to vote for?
I don't want a party that's going to tell my son he can cut off his penis. I don't want to vote for a party that...
Like, what party is doing that? What do you... You're just a psychopath, lady. You're just an insane person. Like, the Democratic Party's platform is you have to chop your penis off. Like, you're just a freak. Back in the day, before the internet, this lady would be the most annoying lady at the parent-teachers conference. And that would be the only place where you heard from this woman. The only place where you heard from this woman would be the interactions that you were forced into in, like, I don't know, some kind of school meet or something where you're like, ugh, yikes, Karen is here again. What are you going to do? Let her chirp, okay? Now, this is a political movement. Now, this is all we have to listen to because neither the Democrats nor the Republicans want to, raise the salience of economic struggle in this goddamn country. So the Republicans keep egging on. They keep looking for the more schizophrenic psychos in their base to be like this. It literally feels like Frank Luntz will just go to the countryside to be like, who is the most mentally maladjusted person we can find? Okay, great. That's now going to be our party platform. Okay, this is now the party platform. And then the Democrats are like, God forbid we run on Medicare for all or free college or, government housing or something. So we now have to take this defensive position as though we're defending these insane things, these increasingly insane things. It's great. I love that. I love American politics. It's just two parties that are constantly playing culture war football. They're just passing it over and over again. Yeah, in 10 years, they're going to be like, I don't think we should even vote. Billionaires should choose for us. We just raised the banner of one billionaire champion over the next. And they all obviously want to melt us as biomatter, but at least one billionaire will be gay and the other won't be homophobic. Actually, both are homophobic, but one's openly gay, one's secretly gay, okay? And you have to choose between those two. And the Democrats will be like, well, we have to go with the openly gay billionaire, obviously. At least they don't want to melt the gays for biomatter, just the homeless and just the people who are no longer productive, right? It's great.
Tells whites they don't matter.
This is no place for Turning Point USA.
They promote bigotry, they promote racism, they promote, things that we're against as human nature.
Wherever this movement is headed, expect protests to follow.
You're resisting.
Are we having fun yet?
Some demonstrators outside this event dressed as characters from The Handmaid's Tale, the dystopian book and TV series, to make their point.
I have a problem with them trying to persuade people that their goal in life as a woman is to keep house and raise babies.
What? You want to come say something to me, sweetheart? Yeah, I will.
That's awesome. Wow. Did they deploy?
Tensions here.
They deployed tactical rape, Chud. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sugar tits. Show me a smile.
Are wrong. All of it yet another example of the deeply
tactical
polarized
chud
politics
rape.
of the moment.
Women hold up half the sky. Charlie Kirk deserves to die.
Women hold up half the sky. Hey, we got some Maoists in the building.
These protesters' shouts infuriating some inside the Women's Summit.
Happiness comes and goes, and I pray that you find it.
Motivating others to push ahead to create the change they seek.
Yeah, that was the morality officer from the previous AI video that we watched. Erica Newkirk.